never hurt me. I'm more afraid of you than I am of him. She was so blindly in love with this guy. So, I called her mother, the only person on earth that my wife would listen to, and I told her, she's going to see him. This will not end well. Her mother called and told her to come home immediately. Sure enough, he was served that day, at work and in front of all his employees and his own wife. Well, that sure changed his lovey-dovey attitude. He called my wife and said, "You are fired. Do not ever come here again. You need to make this go away, or you and your children will be very, very, very sorry." Later that afternoon, she came back to what had been our home, but now was legally my house, stunned and overwhelmed. She had been living in a fantasy world that had just collapsed with instant clarity. She was now bereft of everything good in her life. Everything. No job. No children. No home. No husband. No nothing. "He used me," she said, blankly. "He never loved me." "Yep," I responded. "Just like I told you." 3 years in litigation for something so deeply personal is exhausting. Ultimately, I settled. I wanted so badly to go the distance, and take it into a jury trial, and then, to the Court of Appeals. But his assets had been impossible to pin down, and I was worried he would declare bankruptcy, in which event, I would have had a very hard time collecting. He had perjured himself and tried to get his doctor to lie for him, so he was found in contempt and sanctioned. Small victory, I guess. I could not be more thankful that I lived in one of the few states where lawsuits for alienation of affection and criminal conversation are legal. I had invested 8 years of my life in my wife. We shared hopes and dreams. Plans for our children. And, knowing all that, this guy, Jack, spent months whispering in her ear and drawing her into his web. He was an extremely confident, charismatic person. He destroyed everything in our lives. I couldn't just walk away from that. I felt an obligation to my marriage to hold him accountable. It took 4 years, but my wife and I reconciled. I had promised for better or worse, and apparently that was the worse. Just because she went wayward, did not excuse me from my obligations. It was hard. But it was for the best.